Hello, everybody. This is Mr. Loo. The stock market is now registering an incredible bull run, but there are some risks that I see they are emerging. And is there a time where Mr. Loo will start selling? So today I'm going to address these comments, and I hope that you'll watch on to the end because this is where everything will be unfolded. Let's watch on, shall we? Today's talk is about the current mega stock market bull run in US. I think it's important for us not to just look at the excitement, but also not to forget about the risk. I think it was Li Ka-shing who says this: in stability, look for growth, but in growth, look for stability. Basically, it's highlighting that if there is a phenomenal growth, we should now be thinking about stability. So I'm actually now looking at the horizon and what's happening, and there are some risks that I foresee. Will there be a time that I'll sell my stocks? No, there could be, right? So today I'll talk about especially one event that will cause me to sell my stocks. As usual, these are the disclaimers. Remember Tom Lee who said that the S&P 500 will cross 5,500 by end of June? Well, guess what? He's right. Yeah, it did. So the S&P 500 has broke through 5,500 points, and market close on the 3rd of July is at 5,537. It's a record-breaking number. Not only did S&P 500 broke record, so did NASDAQ. I think so did Dow Jones Industrial Average as well. So it's the entire stock market in US that are breaking record. And this is in line with what we expected. I've told everybody that a second bull run is coming, and now it has come to pass. So we have now crossed 5,500 points. And guess what? We're only at half the year, mid-year, and there's still half the year to go. So that's a phenomenal rise of the US stock market. Now, in case someone thinks that this bull run is limiting to just geographical boundary of US, look at the stock market across the world. Many stock markets are now registering mega bull runs as well. If you look at India, India has now broke through an all-time high. So did Japan. Of course, US, Korea, I think it has gone down quite a lot during last year, but it's coming back as well. Indonesia is coming up as well. Even Singapore, the boring STI index right now is possibly going up to 3,400 over points. That is attributable largely to the rise of the three banking stocks. But generally, the whole world stock market is on a rise and an astronomical rise, especially in US, Japan, and India. Well, why are we hitting such record high numbers? I think I've said this before, I say again, it's the inflation. Now, this is one of the most predictable bull run that I've seen. And we have already seen that since 2022, July, that the inflation will be coming down, and it did come down. So right now, the inflation is coming down. And not only that, the non-manufacturing PMI is also slowing down. So there is a hint of a slowing of momentum economy. And this is good because it represents that the overheated economy is now coming down to equilibrium, and that's good. And the labor market is also slowing down. The non-farm employment change is now hitting at a number that's below consensus. And the jobless claim is also coming somewhere on consensus number as well. So generally, the labor market is now coming in equilibrium, and that's good. Jerome Powell, in a panel discussion, has actually made some dovish comments. He actually said that the US economy has made significant progress on inflation, and it's now back to its disinflationary path. So he said that last year, the inflation came down rapidly, and then we hit 1 quarter of somewhat reinflation, and now it's coming back again. So he thinks that it's good, but he needs to see more data. But overall, his statement is viewed as very dovish, and that's good for the stock market. As a result, the stock market has a phenomenal rise. Tom Lee actually hinted that, it's possible for S&P 500 to hit 5,800 points. I'm not so sure about 5,000 points, but I think 5,600 points, which is the current consensus estimate of many analysts and banks, since we're within reach right now. Tom Lee is always very bullish, and so far he has been extremely accurate. But he thinks that you'll hit 5,800 points. And don't forget, he always said that there is $6 trillion of cash on the edge that are coming in. Then this will lift up the entire stock market. Well, if it does, that's good, right? Then all of us will enjoy a phenomenal bull run. So really, what are the downside risks, right? So let's not forget and be blind that as the stock market goes higher and higher, there could be some drawdown risks. And I think we need to highlight what these risks are. So this is what I think the risks are. Number one is, as the interest rates are cut, and it's not a matter of Will or will not is a matter of when. When the interest rate is cut, the US dollar will weaken. And when the US dollar weakens, even though you make gains on your stocks, your US stocks, especially in Singapore dollar terms or Malaysian dollar terms, in your local currency terms, the gains would have been more muted because the US dollar has weakened. And that's an expected thing because when a US interest rate is cut, money might flow out from US to higher interest rate countries, and therefore it weakens the US dollar. I think this effect is likely to be not so strong is because when the US interest rate is cut, everybody will cut their interest rate as well. Will it be weakened? Yes, but I don't think it will be significant. Second is that there is a race between Trump and Biden right now. And if you have watched the debate between both of them, I think Biden did terribly. So everybody is betting that Trump will win and become the next country leader. However, because he's very bullish, everybody is very afraid that his policies will cause inflation again. If he is going to win the election, and it won't be very long from now, it's somewhere in November, then market will view that he's inflationary, and as a result, punish the stock market because he's deemed as inflationary and can cause inflation to spike if he spends a hell of money. So let's watch and see. But I think this is a risk and it's increasingly serious. Third is there could be reinflation risk. That means inflation come back again. There's always this risk. I don't see it happen in a big way, but it's always possible. In the horizon right now, I don't see things that can cause the stock market to reinflate in a big way. There are certain bottlenecks right now in some shipping lanes and ports and things like that, but I think those are one-time hit. I don't think it's that big. So I think the risk is there, but I don't think it's high. So last is that the US economy and the global economy might be hit with a surprise recession. It is already weakening gradually, especially outside US. And this could spill over to US as well. And if the recession were to hit, then you will have a negative downside possibly to the stock market as well. In an environment where interest rate is high, it will cause economic activity to slow down, therefore pushing the demand of the whole economy lower and lower. And at some point when it's overdone, which is what everybody is afraid of, it might cause a recession. So this is something that might happen. I think the chance of it happening right now is low in US. I think it's higher outside US, but it's not no, right? So these are known risks, and these kind of risks are all very easy to see whether it happens. Well, a lot of you might be worrying and things like that. I just need to say this: retracement, pullbacks are part and parcel of bull run. No bull run lasts forever. Some bull run retrace back for half a year, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. So these are part and parcel of bull run. So you cannot expect the bull run to go on forever. But one thing about bull run is that they go this way, right? So retracement are part and parcel. If you cannot take volatility and you cannot take months of weakened stock market, you may not be able to handle this kind of knee-jerk reaction. So in a nutshell, I just want to summarize by saying this. I think the market is doing well, but don't be surprised that downside risks might happen. I highlighted some risks. The risks are low, but not no. So we need to watch and see. I expect the stock market to go up with some volatility at the second half of the year. It may not be as strong as the first half. So don't over expect too much, right? That you hit 5,800 points. It may, I think the chance is low, but I think let's not be surprised when the downside risk hit. So let's go to the golden question. Will Mr. Loo ever sell big time, right? Means I let go in a huge stock. Of course, there are circumstances that I will. Not environments like this, not because of volatility, not because of profit taking, but when certain underlying assumptions change. For example, I've always assumed that the stock market will, the last 100 years will repeat again. So the last 100 years, the S&P500 have gone up over a long period of time in a very healthy way. But if certain assumptions change, for example, US will lose its global position in some way, there's a revitalization of China economy overtaking US. That's something that caused me to be concerned about. And there could be another global financial crisis like 2008 or 1929. That kind of event will cause me to sell big time. Barring those big time events, I will still hold on, do some rebalancing here and there. That means reallocate some my funds on wealth to stocks and between stocks and bonds and other assets. Otherwise, I'll just hold on as much as I can. With this, thank you. And let's look forward to the bull run continuing to the end of the year. And don't forget that volatility and retracement are part and parcel of the bull run. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in a day or two. Bye bye.